Walking through a violent blizzard while carrying his injured sister on his back, Tanjiro begs his sister to stay alive. He pledges that he will find a way to save her no matter what happens. In the flashback, Tanjiro used to go to the city at the foothills to sell charcoal to support his family. One day, after getting ready to go, Tanjiro hears his mom call him. As she wipes the soot from his face, she expresses her concern for his safety. Tanjiro says he wants to do it so that his family can have a good New Year's meal. Before leaving, Tanjiro's siblings sent him off. It seems like Tanjiro's family is close to each other. Arriving in the nearby town, some townsfolk ordered some charcoal from him. Tanjiro then hears a young man calling out to him. The young man has been accused of breaking a plate by a store clerk. Tanjiro then uses his keen sense of smell to find the real culprit. It turns out that the real culprit is a cat. It was almost night when Tanjiro sold all his coal and headed back to his house. However, on the way to his home, Tanjiro is stopped by a nearby neighbor who warns him not to enter the mountain at night. The neighbor asks him to spend the night in his house because demons can go out freely to prey on humans at night. At first, Tanjiro rejects the offer, but then he accepts the offer and spends the night in that man's house. Later, the man tells Tanjiro some information about demons, saying they will attack humans and eat them. Even being in the house sometimes can't save them from those demons. However, the man also tells Tanjiro about demon slayers' existence, saying they are a special force that will protect humans from demons' attacks. The next day, once the sun rises, Tanjiro thanks the man before heading back to his house. Unfortunately, as he gets closer to his house, Tanjiro suddenly smells blood, and he quickly dashes into his house. He sees a bloodied dying Nezuko holding their other sibling in the front yard. Tanjiro rushes up to her body, asking her what had happened to their family, before turning to gaze inside his home. He discovers his mother and the rest of his family dead, with blood all over the house. Realizing that it's only Nezuko who survives that bloody attack, Tanjiro carries Nezuko on his back through the snowy mountain to the nearest town to save her. It's a difficult journey for both Tanjiro and Nezuko as his breathing becomes labored due to the frigid air. Suddenly, Nezuko's body begins to twitch and she groans in an animalistic manner. She suddenly tries to attack Tanjiro, forcing him to put his hatchet's handle in her mouth to prevent getting bitten. He suddenly realizes that his sister has turned into a demon. Tanjiro then begs her to hold back and not to be a demon. Tanjiro's voice reaches her heart as she suddenly cries and stops attacking her brother. Suddenly, a swordsman named Gyutamika comes to attack Nezuko. Tanjiro tries to protect his sister. After realizing that Gyu is a demon's lair, Tanjiro later begs for his mercy to spare Nezuko's life. He insists that his sister can hold back and won't attack any humans. Tanjiro tells Gyu that Nezuko is the only family he has and he promises to find a way to heal his sister. Gyu doesn't believe Tanjiro and still wants to kill Nezuko. He and Tanjiro were later involved in a fierce fight. Gyu easily corners Tanjiro and injures him badly until the latter is unconscious. However, Gyu later is shocked when he sees Nezuko trying to protect her brother. Seeing this phenomenon, he decides not to kill Nezuko. Once Tanjiro wakes up, Gyu asks him to find Sakonji Urokodaki at the foot of Mount Sagiri. Gyu also cautions Tanjiro not to expose Nezuko to sunlight. After Gyu leaves, Tanjiro goes back to his house to bury his family. He and Nezuko then leave the house together and start their journey to Urokodaki's place. Before going to Urokodaki's place, Tanjiro buys a broken basket from the nearest farmer's family. At first, those farmers wanted to give it to him for free, but Tanjiro insisted on paying. He then repairs that broken basket and takes it to Nezuko, who is hiding from sunlight in a nearby dirt tunnel. Tanjiro then asks Nezuko to get inside the basket, which will protect her from the sunlight during their trip. Although Nezuko is now a demon, she still can understand Tanjiro's instructions. As Tanjiro makes his way to the mountain, a local woman shows him directions and cautions him to be careful, because recently several people have gone missing. As night falls, Tanjiro and Nezuko find a shrine in the woods. He runs inside after smelling blood as he approaches. He freezes when he opens the doors and sees a demon within, devouring numerous bodies. Meanwhile, Nezuko starts salivating at the smell of blood. The demon later attempts to eat Tanjiro, but Nezuko saves him. Those siblings work together to take down that demon. However, when they successfully corner it, Tanjiro somehow feels pity and can't kill him. At that time, a mysterious man wearing a Tengu mask appeared near Tanjiro and observed him. He even gives Tanjiro some instructions on how to kill that demon. That man smells Tanjiro and knows that he is too nice to even slaughter demons. When the sun rises, the monster is instantly burned into ash. Seeing the demon vanish into ashes because of the sunlight, Tanjiro rushes to find Nezuko. He is relieved to discover her sister is still sitting in the basket inside the shrine, shielded from sunlight. Tanjiro then goes back to that mysterious man. He later tells him that he is Urokodaki. Urokodaki then criticizes him for not being able to kill that demon. He then tells Tanjiro that if he wants to keep traveling with his sister, he has to kill Nezuko if she kills humans, and then kills himself. Urokodaki later tests Tanjiro if he is fit enough to join the Demon Slayer Corps, asking him to follow him while carrying Nezuko. Tanjiro chases after Urokodaki, who is keeping a steady pace far in front of him, but he struggles to keep up. A tired Tanjiro arrived at Urokodaki's home as the sun was setting. However, he later finds out that the actual test is about to begin. Tanjiro leaves Nezuko in Urokodaki's hut before following him to the mountain. Urokodaki instructs him to climb down the mountain before daybreak. Unfortunately, climbing down the mountain isn't as easy as he thinks. There are a lot of challenging traps across the journey. Tanjiro must use his sensitivity to smell to avoid those traps. Tanjiro motivates himself to stay strong and finishes the task, because it's the only way to save his sister. Tanjiro appears at Urokodaki's door as daybreak approaches, saying only, "I have returned" before passing out. Tanjiro passed the test. Urokodaki remembers the letter Giyu wrote to him. Giyu informs him that Tanjiro wants to become a demon slayer. He also adds his confidence that Nezuko won't harm humans, and Tanjiro also boasts a good sense of smell, just like Urokodaki himself. Urokodaki sees Tanjiro passing out in front of his door and later accepts him as his student. The next day, Tanjiro starts his training with him. Tanjiro writes his journey to become a demon slayer in a journal, hoping that Nezuko will read it someday. Before beginning their training, Urokodaki gives a brief explanation about the Demon Slayer Corps and the demons themselves. He informs Tanjiro that demons are sometimes hard to kill, because they can regenerate their body. They can only be killed by sunlight or a special blade. Urokodaki also tells Tanjiro that he has to pass the final selection test to join the Demon Slayer Corps officially. Days by days passed, Tanjiro trained hard on the mountain. With his sensitivity to detect smell, Tanjiro can dodge hidden traps in that mountain. However, the training is getting harder day by day. Urokodaki levels up the challenges, and even sometimes asks him for sword duels. As the training is coming to an end, Urokodaki teaches Tanjiro a special breathing technique to defeat demons. After 6 months under Urokodaki's guidance, there are only several training sessions left. Nezuko, on the other hand, is still sleeping. Later, Tanjiro makes his final instructed climb and descent of Mount Sagiri. He can traverse the harsh landscape and defeat the traps successfully. Urokodaki then tells him that his training is finished, and he has nothing to teach him anymore. Before Tanjiro is sent to take that final selection test, Urokodaki asks Tanjiro to slice a giant rock with one slash. If he can do it, it means he is ready for the test. Tanjiro tries to slice that giant rock several times, but he fails miserably. Tanjiro feels hopeless as he isn't strong enough to slice that rock, even after his long training. Tanjiro later meets a mysterious teenager named Sabito. At first, he challenges Tanjiro to duel, but he always wins. Tanjiro then is motivated to defeat him. One of Sabito's friends named Makoma later helps him train his breathing style. She also tells him how important a breathing style is during a fight. Finally, in the last duel with Sabito, Tanjiro can defeat him and slice his mask. As they see how far Tanjiro has improved, both Sabito and Makoma disappear from the forest in a haze. Tanjiro then realizes his swing has sliced the giant rock in half. That's the end of part 1. We appreciate you sticking around to the very end. For the upcoming updates, don't forget to like, subscribe, and enable notifications. It means so much to us. Catch you in the upcoming videos.